Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and we have another One Piece show match. This time it is going to be the Donquixote Doflamingo leader versus the Star Deck Kaido. And I think Donquixote is probably the best blue leader we have right now. Blue's not doing a super good job in this meta, and then against Kaido, which is probably just still like the best purple leader in the game still. So I was able to go first and win that dice roll and kept my opening hand, while the Kaido player had to do a mulligan and then just pass over there. So going first, we pretty much have our best card. It is Perona, looking at the top 5 and being able to rearrange it, which is important for us and our leader. So we end up doing that and passing it back to Kaido. Kaido normally doesn't have a lot of plays for 2 Dawn, so it looks like it's going to be just a pass and go back to my turn. So at 3 Dawn, since I was able to stack the top of my deck with Perona, I'm able to use my leader's effect with 100% accuracy, so we're able to get the Boa Hancock off the top of our deck and swing at the Kaido, and Kaido takes the 1 and passes it back. So with 4 Dawn, Kaido could play Onigashima Island if they have it, but unfortunately for Kaido, they do not. So just a 7k swing into our Boa Hancock, which is fun for us. It did kind of absorb an attack, and then just playing the blocker there to pass. Back to my turn 5, and since we were able to kind of double stack with Perona, at least I was able to correctly identify being able to attack twice with this, I was able to use the effect of Donquixote Doflamingo again. Look at the top of it, get a Gecko Moria to get the Boa Hancock back to our hand. They block the attack, and then I believe we just kind of pass it back there. So right here, this is pretty much like the point of no return for Kaido. If they don't get an Onigashima Island, by now they pretty much won't have any time to set it up. So luckily they did get the top deck from it there, so they are able to play it and get some advantage back from it. So they're a little behind, but not as bad as it could be. And then with 3 Dawn open, I believe, yeah, they're going to add 2 to the Kaido and attacking to the Gecko. And I'm going to use the Desert Spada to get plus 2k with the top 3, so I can rearrange it for another card for the Donquixote Doflamingo effect. And then from there, I'm going to do the Donquixote Doflamingo 3-drop blocker and then pass the turn back to me. So we are going into our 7 Dawn turn, and again we know what the top card of our deck is, so we're going to start with that. We're going to put the attack in 7k. We're going to play another Gecko Moria, so get that blocker we just countered with, and 7k on leader. And it looks like they are going to take it, go down to 3. And then from there, I'm going to play the Donquixote Doflamingo for 3 again, for the first time, looking at the top 5 and doing a rearrangement there. And then looks like I'm just going to pass turn without even attacking with the Gecko Moria. So pretty good advantage from my side. I have a pretty good board. They're all like mid-range size characters, but I do also have a healthy hand based off the effect. They're all able to go to 10 with Onigashima Island. And then they choose to, they have a couple plays that they can choose to do, and we'll see what it is. It is a king from the Star deck for 6, so using the Dawn -1 to get rid of presumably either my Gecko Moria or my blocker, and it looks like it's going to be the Gecko Moria. And then they're going to use attack leader into our Gecko Moria. I'm going to counter out of it with a Kuma and then a Who's Who for 3, and that's going to be able to get rid of my Donquixote Doflamingo blocker. So getting rid of some of my board, we're only at half of it, and Perona is really just going to stay out here for like probably most of the game, unless they have a way to get rid of it coincidentally. But we are at our 9 Dawn, which is quite good for our curve. So 5k into the leader and using the Black Maria to counter out of it. Again, a leader swing into leader swing, and looks like they take that, go down to 2. And then the Dracula Mihawk, which I didn't originally think this was a good card, but it's been super duper good. I highly recommend it for the deck. So 9 cost, being able to bounce the king to the bottom of the deck, and that 9k is going to be really hard to get rid of for the rest of the game unless they just attack into it. It just has a really good board presence after you establish it as well. So Kaido's back here at 10 Dawn, and looks like they're just going to attack a big attack into my leader, and I will take it. That's the first damage I take for the game. Which just really looks unfortunate. They don't have any like big card to drop to gain advantage, unfortunately. And then they're going to use, it looks like 2 on the Who's Who to attack my leader as well. And it looks like I'm going to use the Boa Hancock to get out of it. And then they're just going to pass there with 3 Dawn open. So they probably just have a bunch of counter cards in the hand, unfortunately, and they can be very defensive, but they don't really have anything to establish on their board. So with my turn, I'm going to use first the Perona to get rid of the Who's Who. It's just 1 Dawn to do that. It's either 1 Dawn to get a card out of their hand or get rid of the Who's Who, so I think pretty good there. And then looks like I'm going to do a 6k to the Gecko Moria, which means they probably have to have like a plus 2k counter, which they do, the ulti. And then we're going to put another 6k swing onto leader again. They have a really big hand for Kaido, so obviously a lot of defense in there, but another 2k getting out of that one. Dracula Mihawk, big 9k. You're going to use the Blast Breath for 1 to get the plus 4k, so we're tied, and they have to find one more card to get out of this attack. And looks like they are going to choose another Black Maria, so another blocker out of their hand is actually pretty nice. Then we're going to use the Sentomaru and then use the effect. Since we have enough Dawn for it, we're able to look through our deck and we're going to get a Pacifista. So it looks like we're going to get the blocker one, or not the vanilla one there. Big 6k. We do have 5 cards on our board, so we can't play more cards unless we get rid of the one of that's already on the board already too. So and we're just going to pass it there. So again, max Dawn for the Kaido here. And you're going to have to be able to choose something. And King from the set is actually really good here. So it gets rid of the Sentomaru and the Perona for free. So that Sentomaru obviously will be able to get a lot more value. And in this set too, there are blockers for the Pacifistas as well, which could be defensive as well. And then, but that's just pretty much their turn, unfortunately. They can attack with leader, which they will do. It's going to just be a 5k, and let's see what they decide to swing into. Looks like it doesn't really matter. I'm going to use Desert Spot. I'll look top 3 if there's any cards that I want to add. And it looks like I am rearranging it there, and that will be the turn. So back to me, I'm going to be able to just get a lot of value off these attacks, and only 2 Dawn left is pretty good for me as well. If I have another Draco Mihawk, I'm able to clear the board again and have 2 9k attackers on the board, which is quite mean. But looks like, let's see, first we're going to do a 7k swing here, and 7k is really good because they're going to have to either use a plus 2k counter and a plus 1k, but they don't, so they just go down to 1. Another 7k swing here as well, and I'm kind of reading with 3 Dawn open, they have like a bunch of plus 4ks in the hand, which they do, which feels really bad to have to use one of those for a 7k swing, but I would definitely take that. And then looks like I'm gonna do some quick math. Yeah, so we're going to actually go up all the way to 9k, and so just to make sure that, again, if they do have a plus 4k, they will. And so we get the Bartholomew Kuma off the top of our deck, and then they do have the Thunder Bagua there, and then also the X-Strike. So they did have to unfortunately over counter because they didn't have any 1Ks in hand, and then just a big 11k just because I had the Dawn open. So down to 0, looking quite good for me right now. I've got a pretty good board. I've got 4 life, and it's going to be quite an uphill battle for this Kaido to be able to come back from this. So they do still have like a king on board, which they haven't really had a big attacker on for a while. So they're going to attack with the king into the Kuma there, and that's fine by me. I'm going to use the on KO effect to play the Pacifista from my hand, and they're going to use the Kaido there, and that will get rid of the Pacifist I just played, and then they're going to use the Onigashima, and what they were able to like do one swing into a couple things. So one into the Gecko, which I think I'm going to counter out of. Yeah, I'm going to just counter out of that for free. Get rid of the Dracula Mihawk, that's fine, I don't want to counter out of that, but I can just do a big old bear swing. We're going to just put all 10 underneath our Pacifista, and 16k is pretty hard to get out of. So that is going to be the game, and that is the match. So thank you guys so much for watching, really do appreciate it. Thank you again to Yomi for playing and recording with me, and then also if you guys have any other matchups you want to see, please let us know. But again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.